morning. It's Inside Nigeria, Friday, October 15, 2021. Of course, it's the last edition for the week. My name is Bode Bradebo. I have in the studio with me, as usual, my regular co-host, Winifred Ogabo. Winifred, good morning.
Good morning, viewers out there. But even before you could introduce me, I was already
Exactly.
maybe the
because
excitement.
you are looking Friday already.
Yes, the excitement that today is the last day of the week.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes.
And of course, as usual, we are having our regular analyst, Samaila Musa. Samaila Musa is an Abuja-based public affairs analyst. Samaila, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Inside Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, viewers, as usual, we're starting with Nigeria's first Independent Friday newspaper, the Leadership Friday. On the front page of Leadership this morning, racketeering slows down 6 million mass metering project. Racketeering slows down 6 million mass metering project. Only 750,000 meters deployed in 1 year after takeoff. Darkness looms as gas producers threaten to cut supply to gas stations. Samaila, I don't know if you are affected with this. Do you have meter in your house?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I have meter. But even at that, before I could secure one, it was hell. Like the normal Nigerian culture, this racketeering thing is something that is always expected. Even if you ask someone, even just maybe in the bank or any other organization, you ask someone to distribute tallies, you will find out that just common tally, there will be racketeering. Some will be hoarded for some other personnel that are ready to drop some tips and all of that. So it's actually a Nigerian culture which is very bad. But one will expect that. Of course, some things like that will always come up, especially when it involves the essential things like meter. So it's not a surprise at all.
Well, and the government actually promised 6 million meters, and as you can see, less than 1 million houses have been metered so far. But the issue is now the racketeering part of it.
Yes.
Workers at power distribution companies have turned this to money-making venture. I'm a victim myself. I paid 10,000 naira to someone over 6 months. I've not seen anything.
Yeah,
it has been,
So some people even pay more. Some people actually paid more, and you see, beyond even the racketeering, these meters are not free.
No, they are not free.
They are not free. You are paying for it over time. Each time you buy electricity, credit, they are deducting the money from the meter from it. That's what I eventually found out. So I was wondering, so why are they announcing it? Because just making the announcement that it's free is a scam as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, it's free actually, because I procured one in my normal house, and then I didn't have an issue like we are having now. I think less than 3 months I had it. You do a bank draft to them and all those stuff. And at the end of the day, what happened and what I was told and what I also noticed was that gradually, when you recharge, they are giving you back. Yes, they give you the money back.
They give you the money back, or you are paying the money back?
No, you first of all pay. Even though when you recharge, you discover that they are deducting you small, because invariably they are also giving you the money back. Yes, that was what happened.
That wasn't the case.
Okay,
In our case. They actually deducting the money, and I complain each time I go to pay. I say that why this should be the number of units I'm having. They say no, the money from the meter, they are being deducted. There's a certain percentage that will be deducted until you finish paying for the meter.
Okay, mine was bought back. I made payments initially. Bank draft of 32,000 naira. Okay. So gradually too, even though I was recharging, they were taking it small. In other words, they were bringing it back to me. Okay. Yes, that was what happened during my time.
But of course, the racketeering thing is something that should be expected. That's the Nigerian way.
Yes.
Whoever has, from even the people who are distributing to even the people that will give approval to say, oh, okay, go and mount it in so person's house or approve this for him. There's heavy racketeering going on there.
Yes,
So and the meters, it's not like as if you go there today, they tell you there's no meter. Yes. But there is only until when you show them that you're ready to actually play games. Play balls. That's when you will have a meter. But there are meters in abundance as we speak now. But you will not be given until you really pay a substantial amount of money that can actually earn you one.
And
So
there's another problem too, like the second
gas.
rider. Darkness looms as gas producers threaten to cut supply. So, what is your take on it? Given the fact that presently we cannot really boast of a 24-hour power supply. More so now that
Um,
producers are threatening strike.
you cannot. I don't know if we would like to blame them because they say government is trying to have a threshold price for gas.
For gas.
So they now think it is better to export the gas, make money for themselves instead of supplying the gas locally to our power stations.
Yeah, of course, this is a good responsibility of the government to do whatever it can, because these are things that makes life a bit easier, to alleviate this living condition of citizens. Because I can bet you that the amount you buy this gas today, the amount you are buying today, you are not guaranteed that you're going to get it when you are refilling your gas.
No,
by the time.
we're not talking about the domestic gas.
Gas,
The gas
for
for
power
power
stations.
stations.
So
Yes,
okay,
yes.
yeah, that's
That one you are even
major
talking is another challenge.
challenge, yeah, in itself.
It's 8,000 now for 12 kg cylinder.
Yeah. And it's not even stopping. You don't even know when that was, whether it's now you have gotten to that peak that you say, okay, no, this is the price we want to keep it. Almost every two weeks, there's an increment in that. But of course, on regards to this, I mean, it's still on the responsibility of the government, because we can't be in darkness. You can't shut down the country, and say, oh, because the people behind it gas supply are saying no, they are going on strike. I mean, just going on total blackout in Nigeria for 24 hours, when you try to quantify the losses, it's going to be probably in billions. You understand? So we really can't afford to have that. It's rather going to complicate issues, so it's better they do the needful before they actually go on strike.
All right, Samaila, we need to move away from darkness to other matters.
But the way you say from darkness to light.
Well, darkness looms. So, okay, yeah, we need to move to other cheering news. Probably that means light. Well, there is something we need to show our viewers. The pullout in leadership about change of name and other classified documents, which we publish every day from Monday to Saturday. All right, it's like we can't have it on our screen. We need to
Okay.
move to our sister publication, the National Economy. Winifred, what is on the front page of National Economy?
Okay, on national economy today, 13th of October 2021, it says, sorry, 15th of October, actually, but the time is flying by the day. It says opportunities for job creation in Nigeria's creative industry underutilized. Opportunities for job creation in Nigeria's creative industry underutilized as experts task government on right investment to sector. That is on today's national economy.
Well, okay, Samaila, this is another, in its usual tradition, the National Economy is also having another story, which I describe as call to action story, telling the government that we have a lot of opportunities
Yeah.
for job creation in the creative industry, but these are being underutilized. We have art and craft, the Nollywood, the Kannywood, and the rest of them. But in all of this, there is no government presence. There is no government support, thereby, limiting the potentials.
Yeah, you see, this is just a pointer to the fact that our government has this, you have always been in this tradition of neglecting the youth. And it's sad because when you have a country like Nigeria, taking into cognizance that the youth take the larger population of, so whatever you want to do, whatever planning you're making, these are the people that should be at the forefront of whatever you are doing. Because I mean, outside the youth EX, unless you tell me that you are planning for people who are retiring, you understand. So, and God so kind, Nigeria is blessed with talented people. Where this country is, is full of intellectuals. Whether the ones that went to school or the one that did not even step the shores of this country, I mean, of any school, are actually making impacts on their own. especially when it comes to creativity. You'll be amazed when you go all over Africa. Even just our skits alone that are produced by Nigerian youths are being listened, are being watched all over Africa. Nigeria is leading in terms of entertainment all over Africa. You understand?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, someone told me that he went to is it Zambia or Gambia. He was in the hotel. Most of the people working in the hotel were actually coming to meet him, asking him different questions, that they know more Nollywood movies than he himself, that is a Nigerian and even live and stay in Nigeria. So really, it's a total, the government is always neglecting the youths. And that's very, very sad. The youth are always, are only useful during electioneering campaigns. And so after after you won the election, you neglect them until another 4 years when you need them back again. Nigerian youths have not been taken care of at all. And you see, on their own, they're trying to, make a living. If Nigerian government will pay attention, to just the entertainment industry alone, that will go a long way in boosting the economy of this country and even making a lot of jobless youths. We have so many talented youths out there that do not have, what it takes to actually showcase their talents. Sometimes you went anywhere around Abuja, you're trying to enter your vehicle, you see some youths loitering around a car park trying to sell their CD. You understand? So you're imagining how many CD can he sell?
Yes.
You're probably just looking for just to sell one and go and even get something to eat. You understand? So it's a total neglect. You have to own that responsibility to say, well, whatever it is that you want to do, in as much as it is legit, you have the government backing. There should be some ministry that is in charge, saddled with that responsibility to say, oh, this is the support you are getting. So I think that's just the way to go.
Yeah, Samala, the irony is that the neglected industry, where the experts are already taxing government to make right investments in the sector, is being embraced on the international scene. In the movie industry, we have actors and actresses who have registered their presence on the international scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the music industry,
Same thing.
Davido,
Whiskey,
Tiwa,
Savage,
the Oscar award-winning artist,
Burna Boy.
Burna Boy. You understand? They register Thames and the rest of them. In fact, Thames has located somewhere, in one of these Americas or European countries, applying our trade.
Yeah.
So why will these people be taken serious outside, but
And
right here at home,
Yeah.
no support?
Yeah.
And this is a multi-billionaire
industry. Yeah.
Hollywood is the biggest entertainment film creative industry. It's only second to Bollywood.
Exactly.
It's even bigger than Hollywood. But unfortunately, the federal government is not giving it
the necessary backing.
and attention it desires.
And
If only we can just tap into it, and even the Kannywood was also coming up. Kannywood. But because of the government
in Kano, it's just hypocrisy actually.
I remember about 2 years ago or 3 or so, there was a plan to build a film village in Kano.
In Kano, and
Some,
it was turned down. And you can imagine in Saudi Arabia, billions of dollars were pumped into the same industry. You understand? And it's funny actually.
Well, the government needs to do something as quickly as possible. We need to go on a short break. When we come back, we will continue with the newspaper review segment on Inside Nigeria. We'll be back shortly.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Thank you. It's still Inside Nigeria, Friday, October 15, 2021. We are still in the studio with Samaila Musa. Samaila Musa is an Abuja-based public affairs analyst. Thank you, Samaila, for being with us thus far. Yes, earlier before we went on break, I was supposed to show our viewers a pullout in the leadership, which we actually have now from Monday to Saturday.
Yes,
It is called the Leadership Classified, and it details why people should change their names, the reason,
Yes.
and how to change your name. You don't just change your name for changing the namesake. The processes you need to follow.
It's so beautiful.
Yes.
It's not just the normal change of name classified that you used to have. You have to get to read so many. It's like a pull-out now.
Exactly.
It's coming out as a pull-out.
Exactly.
You read so many things on. For instance, today's when we have
How
international
to
travel
handle
documents,
security document checklists and tips, and many more.
So many info. We made classified, beautiful, informative, and educative too, as you can see in today's leadership.
Well, we are trying to see if we can show you that on our screen. Okay, we now have it on our screen.
Yes.
A lot of stories are there about security documents, what you need to do about them, how you also need to take care of them. Then incorporation of companies, what you need to do,
Yes.
and how you need to go about it, and many more. And this come out every day from Monday
Yes.
to Saturday, giving you different perspective.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we need to go to the next newspaper on our menu this morning. We have THISDAY as the next newspaper on our menu, and of course, it's politics on the front page of THISDAY. Ayu emerges consensus PDP chairmanship candidate. Ayu, of course, is a former Senate president in the aborted Third Republic, Dr. Iochia Ayu emerges consensus PDP chairmanship candidate. How Mark Shema Nazif stepped aside. Nigeria is worse than Somalia under APC, says the new herdsman Iochia Ayu. Samaila,
Yes.
I know you are not a member of the PDP, but what's your take on this?
Yeah, we've always known this is what is going to happen in the long run. Yeah, because we're close enough to know some of the inside workings of some of these political parties. I can tell you for a fact that the emergence of IU majorly is because some persons are also of the opinion that the presidential ticket should be made open to all.
Yes.
You understand? And some person, I heard sometimes back that some people say, oh, Bukola Saraki is content. He has never shown interest in becoming the chairman of the party. He has his presidential ambition, which is, his major, ambition as for now. Even David Mark turned it down immediately. There was no time he was actually in that race. He turned it down immediately. But of course, you see, the Northern Bloc or the leaders of the party from Northern Nigeria believe that there are some regions that are not ripe, not because ordinarily it shouldn't be their turn.
Okay.
But you see, then the Southeast ordinarily should be the one that should be considered for this, But unfortunately, as it is today, there is no figure in the whole of Southeast that has the clout to wriggle power from a ruling party. Unfortunately, the person who at some point was closer to it was the former Senate President Ken Nnamani. Because of the role he played in aborting third term, he was able to gather that kind of clout. I wish it was immediately after his Senate presidency that we're having this kind of conversation or we're having this kind of issue. He will have been the best candidate for it. But as it is, from the Southeast. But as it is today, from the Southeast, actually, there is no figure that is can actually fit in for that for now. That has the clouds from all over the country to carry people along. And then when it came to the issue of Iochia Ayu, so many people believe is a gentleman, and he also agreed that in the eventuality that a northern candidate emerges as a presidential candidate, you are going to step down. And he agreed to that without any issues. Yeah, as a matter of fact, he first and foremost, that was one of the front burner on his campaign manifesto to say, look, you don't have any problem whatever the party decide in the long run, because some of these things can actually be overtaken by events. You might say, oh, it's going, you have zoned it to this side, but because the ruling party hasn't, tell you where it's going yet, and most of these things will form the permutations to say, oh, based on this indices, this is where it should go. So really, they saw a gentleman in him to say, okay, he's going to abide by most of the things they said. As a matter of fact, at the point, some people were already trying to field a southern candidate for the same position, such that when it comes to the issue of the presidential candidate, they will also be, the northerners will be able to make a point to say, no, even when the chairmanship was zoned to the north, some people from the south also contested, so we also have the right. But when there was a gentleman agreement to say, no, if you vote for IU, I mean, if we are agreed on the consensus candidates in person of IU, we won't have any of that issue. So that was one of the things.
There were reports that the North Central
Yes.
PDP big wigs, they are not comfortable. They are not happy over the zoning to the North Central because they are also eyeing the.
Well, I can tell you the major person that wasn't happy is Bukola Saraki. But of course, at some point there was some, consensus. Will I say consensus or some gentleman agreement that say, look, it doesn't matter. Once we get to that bridge, we're going to cross it. If it takes the chairman to step down for whoever.
So much so that they not threw their weight behind the Northern Governor's declaration that there should be no be zoning.
Yeah, but you see, eventually, just like in any political setting, their negotiation is very key. You understand? There's no any grandstanding anywhere. Once you are able to have some meaningful discussions to say, okay, well, let's negotiate this thing. Other than, I mean, if everybody decide to be so grandstanding about this whole thing, the party actually, the crisis before, the one that will have come after this consensus candidate issue will have been the major bomb that will scatter the party. So, and thank God they were able to manage the situation. Exactly. You understand? Yeah.
Well, Samaila, I think
to be calm now.
In order to set the record straight, people need to understand that we're talking within the context of the PDP as a party.
Yes.
Because when you said there is no Southeast politician with a political cloud to actually take power away from the ruling party, people will be thinking, we have other people like Anna Okocha, who is very, very popular, across the length and breadth of this country. But Okocha is in APC.
Yes,
and the odd does not favor him in APC because APC believe that Southeast is antagonistic to the party. Exactly. But in PDP, like you say, yes, there may not be because, like they say, politics is a game of number.
Yeah.
The Southeast does not have the number. And I think if the Southeast can lobby,
the rest of
but take up the position of the vice president, it means the South is very, very close to the presidency. Because by the time you work, you support the party, they clinch the presidency, you are the vice president for 8 years, then my guess is as good as yours, when the time comes for you to take over the presidency. Well, we need to take the last paper on our menu.
Yes.
The Nation newspaper.
We have the last paper on our menu, The Nation. The Nation newspaper. Today, it says, the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, to governors, don't bank on monthly allocation. Osinbajo to governors, that is the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, says to governors, don't bank on monthly allocation. Vice President urges states to drive their economies like sovereign nations. Fayemi, Sanwo-Olu, Obaseki, El-Rufai seek favorable policing policy. That is on today's Nation newspaper.
Well, this is a usual rhetoric. Yeah. We have been through this story every now and then because, but then when we say it, there seems to not be a kind of lack of action on our part to make sure that we are walking our talk. Because I know there are a lot of constitutional obstacles to state governments to tap into their resources, to become, self-reliant. But Lagos, for instance, Kano, for instance, and Rivers, I know that they actually are capitalizing on their internal revenue to fund the state, whether federal allocation or not. Those states are very, very available. But then, what's your take on Oshibajo's advice to government?
Well, the advice is actually the best and it's the way to go. But unfortunately, there are some states that they have nothing, absolutely nothing. If we want to be real to ourselves, they have nothing to generate because you see what you have. The major source of revenue in some of the states is just number of shops,
Markets and
markets. You understand? Other than that, there's no anything that's been produced there. There's nothing. Nobody's. So really, it's either perhaps maybe the fault of the either the previous government not doing anything to make sure that they bring investors or industries.
Our constitution too is a challenge.
You
For example, like I said earlier, we need to embrace fiscal federalism.
Federalism, yeah.
In the sense that when he said there are states without anything to bank on,
What they
but
have
then
is
let me shock you. There is no states in Nigeria without a mineral resources
resource.
Yes,
deposit.
there are. Because
But then that's within the exclusive powers of the federal
the
government.
first time I went to this World Materials and Research Development, they have a map on their
Of course,
wall
there is
where
no
you
state.
see minerals.
Even
across-
sand.
Yes.
Sand is a resource.
That is-
Sand.
I was
You need
quite
sand
surprised.
for building. So if we can tinker with our constitution
Yeah.
to remove mining from exclusive list to the concurrent list,
Yeah.
then this state can now have the power to,
Yeah.
tap into their resources
But
for their own development.
Besides that, you see,
But we are not-
that where I will also blame the state government is the fact that in some of the states, maybe let me give you Zamfara, for instance, 80% of the miners in Zamfara are illegal miners. So which revenue do you want to generate from people who are operating illegally? you understand?
that's
Additional
what I
miners.
think.
No, that's the fault of the
Ownership
federal
of
government.
it.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, if the state government knows that gold belongs to them, they will take over by law.
Well,
And there won't be illegal miners. Then the money comes to their purse for their development.
Well, I believe there are ways that some of these miners can also, even though it's in the purview of the federal government, the state government can also generate one way or the other to generate some revenues. Because you look at the Niger Delta, most of the states who are like maybe for instance Rivers Delta, Delta
Yes,
and Akwa Ibom, there are some revenues being generated from the oil companies.
Yes, they pay them rent and
You
other
understand?
royalties
So,
and the rest.
yeah, of course.
You
So
see how?
it's
So
just
if
about
the gold
using
belongs to
your-
federal government, there are royalties
royalties
due
to be
the
paid.
states.
So,
But the thing is that why most Nigerians were in support of the VAT ownership by states was because it will engender fiscal federalism. Because governors had to think beyond the box. They just can't be coming to Abuja quarterly to come and collect allocation. They have to think of how to think out of the box, think of how to
We
develop their states.
for states who are not supporting VAT collection, it's a kind of a game plan for them because they don't have the capacity to even collect any VAT in their state. So they get more VAT free
From the federal
than
government,
collecting
exactly.
VAT
From
for
their
themselves.
own
So they
yes,
would
yeah.
prefer the status quo being
to
maintained.
remain.
Yeah.
Because we can't continue to do things the same way.
And
It's
expect
always
different
rhetorics.
results.
Oh, don't bank on monthly allocation, develop your state like this. So we've been hearing this over the years, but governors will not do anything. That is why politics has become a do or die thing in our country because all they needed is just to win the election, then come and just collect the money, pay the ones they will pay, and the others end up in their personal pockets. Things cannot continue. This old Nigerians will wake up. Our youths, just like you said, our youths form the majority of the Nigeria's population. Yet they are not doing anything.
Yeah, it's a
Now they are
docile
not. We talked
population.
about creative industry where they use feature largely, but they are not being developed. Their brains are not being tapped. That is why they are channeling their creativity ideas to Yahoo. Any wonder that they are when you go to US now, they are the one that is breaking into Pentagon and all those stuff because the youth brain they need to be harnessed. Unfortunately, they are looking away. It's so sad. It's so sad.
Yeah, Samantha, you need to conclude your thoughts.
Okay, so majorly, you see, that Nigeria is a country that a lot of things happen that you're just wondering, because our leaders, they travel every now and then, and they are seeing how these things are being done outside there. You understand? And they also admire it, but bringing it back here is their major problem because they are also enjoying the way it's been done here.
Yeah.
You understand? So they prefer to keep us the way we are. You don't ask questions. As a matter of fact, you ask questions, you are seen to be arrogant. That what do you know? Who are you to be asking how a state governor is running? So really, majorly, one of our major issues is about leadership.
is.
Because whatever you want to enforce has to come from the top. You understand? And you cannot enforce what you yourself you don't even have. Most of them, they carry their bags, they file into queues when they go overseas, but here they are looking for people who will carry umbrella, who will carry paper and pen for them. So really, there's a need for a wake up to every facet of our leadership to say, look, let us begin to send the right messages. I remember when this government was coming on board, it was just only a Buhari, not an APC issue. The strong thing that was going, there's this strong vibe across the nation that a no-nonsense man is coming on board.
Exactly.
I wish for a change.
You understand? I wish that tempo was maintained, even though it was a mirage. But I wish it was maintained because we'll have sent a strong signal that everybody will begin to comport themselves in the right way. But unfortunately, so early in this regime, they showed that that was just a campaign rhetoric, so that's to tell you how much good leadership can actually affect the rest of the citizenry. So if we begin to do the right things, it will go a long way.
Don't forget that even at the beginning, they were like his body movement.
Yes, a lot of people were packing their bags and even leaving because they felt, no, we can't survive this man.
Body language does not translate to action. And that also shows that politics is a different ball game. Governance is a different ball game. Honestly, Samaila, on this note, we thank you very much for creating time to join us on Inside Nigeria this morning. We hope to see you next week again. So our viewers, thank you very much for being with us from the hour of 10 to this moment. This is the last edition for the week. Keep it there with us next week, Monday, for a fresh edition. And from here, Winifred.
Have a beautiful weekend. Till we come your way again next week, Monday.
And of course, my name remains Bodi Gbadibo. Bye for now.